everyone, so a few days ago when I put up a vlog, I said that I was going to make a very important video and that I was hoping to help loads of people out there and that are young like myself, and that it would maybe make a difference, or at least I could try to make a difference. Well, that video is going to be about being a carer for somebody, and not just any kind of carer, a carer for a parent that's maybe dying of cancer or maybe disabled or whatever. So I thought I would give a little bit of my story and what it felt like for me when I became a carer and everything I went through. So here is my story. This is going to be a very hard video to film, guys. It's probably the most hardest video I've ever done, but I did talk to my brother about it and other people, and everybody said it's a great idea and I should do it and I should help you guys. So here it goes. I can do it. It's going to be fine. So, in May 2013, I found out that my mum had cancer. And on that day, my life changed forever. Little did I know it at the time, but as the months would go on, I would have to become my mum's carer. A few months from then, my mum started chemotherapy. We found out that her cancer was inoperable, and where it was, which was in her food pipe, and it was caused by heartburn, that they couldn't remove it because it was far too close to her heart. So there was nothing they could do, and basically my mum would just have to get chemotherapy to keep the tumour down, so it would give her a little bit longer to live. When I heard that, my life basically just ended in that minute. I was about to lose my best friend, and I didn't know what to do. So I had social workers at the time, and we were all talking about how my mum was going to get ill and someone was going to have to care for her every single day. My mum didn't want people like home help coming in and doing it because my mum didn't want to seem like a nuisance and she didn't want to take up people's time. My mum was like that. But she wanted me to be a carer. So I decided to do it. Because for 20 years of my life, my mum was my carer. As you guys all know, when I was younger, it was presumed that I was disabled, which I found out last year that I don't have a disability. I just struggle on a few things, but I don't have a disability. So I used to have a carer, and that was my mum. So she did that for the majority of my life. So I felt that it was my time to give back and to help my mum when she needed me the most, like I needed her my entire life. So my story begins. So every day I got up, I made sure my mum came down the stairs and she was fed, and made sure she was washed and had clean clothes on. My mum used to take funny turns, and I'm sure you guys will remember if you've seen my earlier videos, I used to talk about it in videos. How I would be terrified and how my heart would go like the clappers and I'd be terrified and I didn't know what to do. When my mum had a funny turn, basically what would happen is she would start to shake and her entire legs and everything would lose control. And nothing would stop her from falling to the ground. The only thing that would stop her was me. If I didn't catch my mum in time, she would fall, hit her head, hurt her back, which happened a few times. Sometimes the funny turns could last 5 minutes and you would have a chance to get up and catch her. Sometimes you only had seconds, literally seconds. And if you didn't catch her, well, she was going to hurt herself. So I had to be quick, and I had to make sure that there was something always around the house so that I could sit my mum down or let her lean on something until I could get a chair. So there was always that I always had to make sure that mum always had something for support until, basically, in case she had like a funny turn. Also, I had to prepare meals. At the age of 20, nearly 21, I learned to start cooking properly. Before then, I just cooked microwavable meals like you probably do now. But now, I basically know all manners of ways of cooking, and I learnt that by looking after my mum. In many ways, my mum used to joke every single day that I was basically looking after an old age woman, and that I was getting a little bit of taste of what life would have been like if she lived to an old age lady, which is probably true. So we used to always have laughs and jokes about that. But I used to have to cook her meals, and it wasn't just like any old normal meal. it was very difficult to do. One meal in particular was corned beef hash. As you all know, my mum had cancer in the food pipe, which meant she couldn't eat solid food because it would get stuck. And if it got stuck, well, she would have a difficulty breathing and it would be a bit of a problem. And basically, only way she could basically eat something or drink something, she'd have to throw it back up. But if it was stuck in there, you would have a bit of a problem because it was so narrow because of a tumour that it basically couldn't go down her food pipe, so it would get stuck. So I had to make very sure that every single food that I made for my mum was blended, and I didn't have a blender, so I had to do that with a knife and fork, and I had to mash it down and make sure that there was nothing big. Even something this small would get stuck, so I would have to be very careful and make sure there was nothing of chunks at all in her food. Basically, you know how you give a baby food and it's just slop? Well, that's what my mum used to eat every day, slop. And she would have to have a really hot drink of tea so that she'd basically be able to get the food down. So I did that, and I made sure she got into bed and she was okay, and toilet and all that kind of stuff. I take her to her hospital appointments. I always went with her, and you know, if she had a funny turn, I would tell the doctors what medicine she was taking. And that's another thing about being a carer. You have to make sure you know what medicines they're taking, and you have to know what times of the day they take the medicine, what medicine it is they have to take, and how much of the medicine. Because if you give just one little bit over, you can be in trouble. So you have to be careful with that. And that's very important to know. If you're a carer, you have to know that. And when, say, your family member is in hospital and the doctors are asking questions, you have to know that, because you are the next of kin and you have to give the right amount of information so they can help your family member. So I had to remember all that as well. And another thing as well, you have to get a lot of sleep to look after them, which is something I didn't really do. What I used to do, especially in the last few weeks when my mum was alive, I was going for naps. My mum would knock on the wall or call my mobile when I was upstairs, and she'd tell me, right, I need some soup or I need some food. But I was taking naps, and then I'd come down and I'd do it, and then I'd go back to bed for another half an hour or an hour, whatever I get. Even if it was 5 minutes, I was getting a bit of sleep. Because at nights, and this is another thing about if you're a carer and you're losing a parent or any family member and you're a carer, one thing you do suffer with is you're already grieving for a person before they're even gone. And I used to suffer that with my mum. I used to cry myself to sleep every night and worry about the future and worry if I was doing things right, and I didn't feel good enough, which I knew I was doing a good job, but at the same time I would feel, well, I could have done that better, I could have done this better. But that's just, you know, I suppose it's part of it. So yeah, I used to do that every single day, so which meant I didn't get much sleep, which wasn't really helping my mum. But I used to do without sleep so I could help my mum, which it wasn't advisable, so don't do that. Please get enough sleep. That's the most important thing you can do. Also, you've got to make sure that the person is getting enough fluids and is drinking, going to the toilet and all that things as well. You have to make sure. It's like looking after a baby. You have to make sure that they're getting enough foods and drinks and they're okay. You wouldn't let a baby go hungry or not let them have any juice, or, you know, you have to look after them, yeah? So basically, I had to do that, and yeah, it was hard work, but you know what, looking back on it now, even though it's a bit of a blur, I'm proud that I was my mum's carer. And I have to say, for everything I've done in my life, it's probably the most proudest thing I ever did. There were so many times where I wanted to run away, and that's okay, you're allowed to feel that. And if you do feel like that, talk to somebody, even if it's me. I will put my links below, and there will be my Twitter and Facebook, and you guys can message me anytime. And if anybody is in my situation, well, was in my situation, you can talk to me, okay? And I will give you advice, and if there's anything you want to ask me, I will do my best to help you. I will try. So yeah, it is important to do all these kind of things to look after them and make sure the person's needing help. And if you're needing help as well, don't be afraid to ask for it, because it's fine. It's cool. It doesn't mean that you're letting that person down, because you're not. You're not letting them down at all. It just means you're struggling a little bit. It can be hard being a carer. I found it incredibly hard. I didn't really have anybody to help me. My mum didn't want home help or social workers to get anybody in, so it was just left to me. And what my mum was doing was she was helping me do the housework, she shouldn't have been doing that. So if you do get the opportunity to have somebody to come in and help, even if it's just once or twice a week, take it. Because you will need a break, and you will need to have you time. Because you time is very important, especially when you're looking after somebody. And that person will need some time to themselves as well, because it is very stressful, not only for you but for the person you're caring for. It can be stressful for both parties, so it is very good to have that somebody coming in. I had my cousin coming in and out every now and again at the end when my mum had a few weeks left, which was really good, and it did help a lot, and I kind of wished I'd had that from the beginning, but I managed, and I'm incredibly proud of myself. And I have to say that it's taught me a lot about myself as well, about caring for someone. And my mum used to always say that she used to care for others in the family. Her mum died of cancer when she was quite young. She was like in her 30s when her mum died, and she was looking after her mum all the time. And well, I did the same for my mum. So it kind of runs in the family, I guess. No doubt my children will have to look after me, which will be fun to see. But yeah, so it's just a part of life, but it's incredibly hard, and you're not alone out there, okay? I've done it, and I know exactly how how you're feeling right now watching this video. How you feel like you're in this dark, lonely, horrible world, and no one understands what it's like. And it's scary, and it's terrifying, and all you want to do is run away, but you can't, because you have this responsibility to that person that you love and adore so very much. But it's okay to feel scared, and it's okay to feel lonely, and it's okay to feel like you're letting them down. But if you do, as I said before, make sure you either talk to me or somebody else that can help. Maybe a family member or a neighbour or whatever. Make sure you get helping. I was lucky in that. I had a neighbour helping me walk my dogs. As you guys know, I have two very, very, very wild Jack Russells who are just crazy and hyper 24/7. And, well, I couldn't really look after them two and my mum at the same time. So I had a lovely neighbour that used to come in and out and take my dogs for walks. And sometimes I'd go too. Well, most of the times I would. So that was me getting my me time, as it were. So being a carer is quite hard, but it's rewarding at the same time. Because you make yourself feel so proud, and it's the best feeling looking after someone and knowing that you're looking after them, and that's basically you're helping them, either making them better or making what's left of their life good, which really helped for me with my mum. And when my mum was dying, I have to say me and her got even more closer in that few months, and I learned things about my mum that I didn't know before, and I think my mum learned things about me she probably didn't even know about me before. So it was quite good, and it was a rewarding feeling. So don't ever feel scared. Just remember to message somebody or me, and I'm here all the time. I hope you guys found this video inspiring, and I know I was more telling my story and not giving you advice as such. I didn't know which way to do it, whether to give advice or just tell you about my story and what my daily routine was to look after my mum. So maybe this idea will work, I don't know. But if you would rather me give you advice and tips, I will of course make another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, please share this video. This video I really want you guys to share, because I want it to help as many people as possible. And I mean as many, okay? We want it to go around places. We want people to see this and go, right, okay, this is what I need to do. This is okay to feel like this. I want to inspire people, and I really want you guys to help. So I need you to give it massive thumbs up and share it. Just keep on sharing it. Twitter, Facebook, show it to a friend, whatever. Just do it, and it would mean so much to me. And thank you for watching. And remember, if you do want me to make another video about this, about tips or advice, I will do it in a slightly different way if that would help you. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has helped.